Okay. I can still hear you, so quite clearly.
Okay,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I think we'll give it 1 or 2 minutes. I think we've got 6 participants now
okay. All right.
listening to us, and 122 registered apparently.
Oh,
So
okay.
we'll just wait for them to masuk. And I think our brother Akhi Hafiz Bai is also online.
Oh,
Watching
you as a
us
host,
ever
you
so
as a host, you
closely.
can see. Okay, okay.
Yeah, you just go to the attendees and then update, refresh kat situ.
All right.
Okay, so shall we start? Okay, eh?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm right with that.
Alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning,
Salam.
everyone. In Malaysia, here almost afternoon lah. Good afternoon. So today, we are honoured to have a guest from Malaysia. Orang GEMA yang quite famous in our activist circles in Ikram itself, di kalangan orang muda. Icon orang muda lah. Our very own Dr Daniel Iqram. So, a bit of introduction. Dr. Daniel Iqram is an emergency and trauma medical doctor. Currently working is it in Teluk Intan? Are you still
No, I'm in Hospital Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, HUKM Ceras.
HUKM now? Okay, so in
Correct.
KL. And he has produced several articles. He's co-authored 2 books along the lines of managing diversity. Ada beberapa soalan? Sepakat
Oh,
sama.
already? Already? That was fast.
Okay. And also, he's also a performer. So, avid guitarist lah. So he co-hosted multiple, I think, events. Bersama 2016, Spectra, GEMA, Musika. Banyak lagi lah kalau kita nak list. Mungkin Dr. Dan akan cerita kat kita sedikit lah beberapa dia punya performance lah. And he's also performed 2 original musical compositions. One of which the music video garnered 250,000 views. Betul Dr. Dan?
According to my estimation, yes.
Yeah, that's a lot of views. 250,000. So boleh dapat silver button lah kalau YouTube.
So,
Yep.
now the thing is, we didn't what do you call claim royalty to yang. That was a shame lah.
Itulah, you can monetize it kan. Okay. Now, he will talk to us today about how we can use our talents and interest or passions for either self-development and also contribute towards the betterment of the community as a whole. So it's about connecting our creativity to activism in general. So what better way to use our fun times so today, before we start, as of compulsory, biasa kita akan tunjuk video Ikram dulu, just as a introduction, and then after that we move on lah. Okay, just a preamble. Okay. All right. So without further ado, kita jemputlah Dr. Daniel Iqram to share with us his knowledge and also his experience lah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Tafadhal mashkuro.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's a very good morning to everyone in Malaysia. I understand also that we have some participants from overseas. I assume Australia. I don't know if there are any from elsewhere. Can I just have a show of hands in the chat box? Who's from not from Malaysia? It would be nice to know. And can I also have a show of hands from whoever knows how to play music, if you don't mind. All right. That'll be for later in the talk, but it'd be nice to see right now if there's anyone in the audience who can play music. Okay. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing today is I was asked to talk by Iqram Australia to talk about using our respective skills or talents or passions in the context of social activism. Okay, I think my talk is going to be mostly in English, but I will here and there intermittently use a bit of Malay to elaborate my some points which I think would be further nicely elaborated better in Malay. So yeah, social activism atau aktivisme masyarakat lah. Basically, kerja-kerja kebajikan would be the other term for it. Okay. Okay, I prepared a slide, some what do you call a presentation. It's about 27 slides. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be talking on starting off with your talents or what you like, and then translating it into social activism. And then later on, we'll be having a bit of fun. I'll be playing a bit of guitar, and I'll be showing how I came up with some ideas, the ideas in one of the songs that I wrote, which got published to YouTube that Akmal mentioned earlier. Okay, if any of you have problems listening to me, you can't hear me, please say so. Okay. Anyway, here are the slides. Okay. Okay. So basically, this is the title of the talk today. Apa nama dia? Negara Johor. Taking your talents to the masses. Okay. Okay. So that's me, Daniel Iqram bin Abdul Halim. 33. I'll be 34 this year. I was born in Malaysia, but I spent 5 years in the United States when my parents went overseas to do their masters in PhD. I went on to, then I came back to that was when I was 8 until I was 13 years old. Then I came back to Malaysia, and I went to school in Victoria Institution, which is in KL, in Victoria Institution Colonial School. I went on to study medicine at University of Malaya here in Malaysia. Graduated in 2010, so had about 10 years of working experience. Currently, 2 years back in 2018, I was given the opportunity to further my studies, pursue a master's degree in emergency medicine. So essentially, I'm studying to be a specialist right now, and that's why I'm in HUKM, which is a teaching hospital in Cheras, PPUKM. So I'll be there hopefully for another 2 years if everything goes right. Then inshallah I'll be a specialist after that. Some of my passions and penchants are linguistics and writing and guitar. I think if I didn't study medicine, I would probably either have gone maybe into studying physics or linguistics. I think I have a great affinity and interest in linguistics. I always talk about sometimes in my daily work routine. Medicine is a core science, and all the core sciences, they take their roots, their roots of language come from Latin and Greek. So a lot of naming species, for example, or what do you call anatomical parts of the body. They use a lot of Latin and Greek in their naming. So I've noticed that I take a bit of a different approach when I study these things like that, and I try to understand. I try to look at the linguistic or etymological point of view, which etymology is a study of the root of language. Etymological point of view, so I understand things. I understand that subject better, right? For example, there's like in the thumb here, there's two different muscles. Two muscles. One is the pollicis longus, and the other one is the pollicis brevis. So the difference between the two muscles is that, and those are Latin terms. So the difference between the two muscles is that the brevis is shorter. So when you look at the term brevis, right, where do you see it used in English? You see it in brevity, abbreviation, and it means short, pendek. That's why you see when you reflect on that, then you can see, oh, that's why they call this muscle brevis and the other longus. So if when you look at things from that perspective, look at science from that perspective, it makes things a little easier and a little more intriguing to study. That's just a very simple example of what I mean when I'm into linguistics. I just understand things better when I look at the root word. Same goes for me when I read the Quran and I read the interpretation. I understand it a lot better and it sticks better in my memory if I look at it from the etymological point of view. I like writing. Most of it is social critique, but I also find that I enjoy, and I've been told that I kind of have a liking or a tendency to arrange things nicely and put them in order. So I enjoy organizing thoughts, I guess. When I want to get a point across, especially if it's a bit of a longish piece. I try my best to put the points in logical order, and most of the time I get commended for it. I play guitar. My parents are both actually musicians. I have played guitar since 2003, I think. That's a good 16 or 17 years. Most of it was self-taught. But I wish I had time for formal training, but I didn't go for formal training, but I wish I had time for it. But for what it is, for all intents and purposes, I was self-taught. And the kind of genre that I'm into is a bit of, heavy and not really commercial, so not really mainstream. I'm into a lot of heavy music. And most guys in who play extreme music are self-taught. Not many are actually formally trained. So I'm just following the trend. NGO involvement. So I've been in a couple or in a few NGOs or CSO, civil society organizations, namely Pemuda Malaysia, Dr Iqram Malaysia, Gabungan Bertindak Malaysia, which is actually like a coalition of different NGOs, and also Project Wawasan Rakyat, which is spearheaded by Nathaniel Tan, if anybody happens to know him. He's a great guy, Chinese dude. And the difference is that I enjoy these respective CSOs for the different nuances. Each brings a different flavor, a different cara kerja or mode of work or approach to social causes. All right. Okay. So this is where we get into the actual topic of the day, which is about taking your passions to social causes and linking them to social causes. So basically, a bit of philosophizing here, a bit of philosophy. What makes life interesting and not just a boring rote daily routine is one of the things is your passions, right? One of the things is your passions, and how do you define a passion? You see, if you look at this little this little a screenshot here, this little picture. In the definition of passion, there are a few words there, like emotion and fervent devotion. You see, so these give the picture, give nuance to the word passion. You know, it defines passion as something which is emotional and which is soulful, and it's natural. One of the most important things about passion is that it's natural. You don't really need to coerce it, and you can't really coerce it. You know, if it's something that you like, if it's something that's close to your jiwa or your nature, that's your passion. Okay, it can be conditioned. Sometimes if like you can stumble upon a passion if you've never, let's say, if you've just tried something, you've never come across it, it can turn out to be your passion, but it's not something that you can coerce in someone. Kita tak boleh paksa passion ni. Ini memang benda yang kita suka, kan? So that's passion. So just put that aside for a minute, and this slide is about volunteerism. So you know that now we've spoken about how passion makes life interesting, right? Adds spice to life, adds variety to life. What about voluntary work? So in my opinion, my humble opinion, the point of life is to develop civilization, is to move civilization along, right? I mean, humans have been in existence on Earth for eons, and all the time, civilization is progressing all the time. We all went to school, we all opened up our history books, and we've all seen how humans progress, right? Knowledge-wise, culture-wise, communications-wise, interaction-wise, I mean, socially speaking. So the point of life to me is to move civilization along, right? And what that simply means is to make the world a better place. Everyone dies. We're on here on Earth for maybe 70, 80 years if we're lucky. I've had patients who come to be 90, close to 100 years old. But I mean, the purpose of life basically is to do what you can to make this world better, right? I mean, if you can go life on your own without doing anything voluntary or extraordinary out of the ordinary, but I think that wouldn't give very much value to life. If you're a religious person, then you also believe that the good that you do in this life will echo in the afterlife, right? Will have repercussions. So what makes the world turn? Basically, all of us, all 7-8 billion people on this earth, we all make the world turn, right? Some people solve problems, some people cause problems, right? I also remember one patient told me, I think it was a very insightful and deep thing to say. She told me that she doesn't believe that there are good or bad people. There are only strong and weak people. That was a very deep, I didn't see that one coming when I was talking to her. So it means that, some people do good things, some people do bad things, but so some cause problems, some solve problems. But at the end of the day, that's what makes the world turn, right? And everyone, in the hospital setting, everyone has a role, right? You may see a neurosurgeon as having the, top of the food chain, being at the top of the food chain, right? So-called food chain hierarchy in the hospital, and the hospital cleaner, for example, may be at the bottom. But in the grand scheme of things, no one individual is more important than another. I'm like a mid-level kind of guy, I guess, in that hierarchy. I'm a medical officer, not quite a specialist, yes, but not quite a specialist yet, but I'm a medical officer. So I do treat the patients, and I do directly treat them and give the orders and all to my subordinates. But I cannot be doing the hospital cleaner work. I don't even have the training to handle toxic waste and that. So everyone is important, right? But looking at the grand scheme of things, how everyone has a role, the question is, how can you be extraordinary? What can you do to come back to that preamble of life being the point of life being to move civilization along, to make the world a better place? That's the question. This is not to put down anyone, right? Like I said, the hospital cleaner also moves the world along, also makes the world a better place. But it's what I'm trying to say is, everyone can do something which is out of their vocation. Everyone has that opportunity. They may do great things in their vocation, yes, but they may save lives and all, but they can still do more. They can always do more. and that's the kind of value and personal enrichment that we're looking for in this life. So can talk a bit about vertical versus lateral growth here, and I think this is pretty relevant to me personally. This is something which is close to me. Medicine itself, I'm not like 100% passionate about it. I do enjoy it. Majority of it, I enjoy, working in the hospital and getting that satisfaction when you treat the patients well and you talk to them nicely and they reciprocate and they appreciate what you do. That's all nice and fine. But I think, if you were to ask, like I said just now in the previous slides, that I think if I were not doing medicine, I'd be a linguist. I'd probably go into linguistics, I think, and my mother is a linguist actually. She was an associate professor in UPM, and she taught English. So I might have followed somewhat in her footsteps, something like that. So what I'm trying to say is that, I'm studying medicine. I'm studying to be a specialist. But what I'm targeting or what I'm thinking about right now is when you become a specialist, when I become a specialist, I think my work will be a lot easier. The burden of work in my vocation, in my career, will be a lot lighter, and I'll kind of be like a boss lah. Okay, to be frank. So I enjoy treating patients and all, but I just don't really enjoy the tedious documentation and all the kind of labor, I guess. So to me, being I want to be a specialist so that I can free up my time, and I have my vocation is in terms of responsibility, and the vocation is a lot lighter, so that I have time to do other stuff. Because I think that's where the lateral growth part comes in. I think I am someone who wants to grow laterally. Once I've done with my masters, I want to go horizontally and explore and do things like music and what was the other thing, and maybe dabble a bit in religion and all. That's just personal interest stuff. And go into civil society and do more and volunteer more. Right now in my masters, during my masters tenure, all of that is a bit restricted, and I don't really have I have less time to do that than when before I entered my masters. So to me, that's lateral growth. Vertical growth is if you're really interested in that topic, in that vocation, and you go headlong into it, and you want to specialize, and you want to go further and sub-specialize, and go international with the papers. I don't see myself doing that because of that, because of the fact that medicine is not my first or even maybe second passion, right? So I want to go laterally, but I want to reach that threshold of being a specialist first, just to free up my time and free up my responsibilities. Okay, so that's, you have to decide for yourself what you want to do. You want to go vertically? You want to go down this path? You want to go headlong into that? Or do you want to keep going further and further up and up that pathway? Or do you want to reach like a certain threshold and you want to go horizontally? So we all have to decide that for ourselves. Okay, so what do you like to do? This is the question that you need to address if you are keen on in participating in social activism in the world of civil society organizations. So everybody has a hobby or a passion, right? And this is voluntary. We're talking about voluntary work, So no one is forcing you to do it. If you do it, it's for your own benefit, right? It's for your own benefit. It's for your own personal enrichment. It's for your own place or standing in this world. So naturally, what you choose to do will be aligned with your talents and your passions and your interests. But sometimes when you want to do what, let's say, okay, you're attracted to a certain organization or a certain group of people who do the same thing as you do, and you find it enjoyable. You can't. There are some things that you have to do which are a bit like nitty-gritty stuff, and you cannot. You don't always to 100% get to do what you want to do, or it may not be 100% enjoyable when you get into especially organizational stuff, and there's things you have to do like documentation and reports and stuff like that. So it's the same thing with our career choices. I read an article sometime back that it's actually how people talk about like, this is all like very ideological stuff. If you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So what that means, like if you find your passion and you turn that into your career, you'll be enjoying what you do, and you won't find it like a burden or a chore to go to work. But that's not always that's not always reality, and it may not be realistic to do that. So there's just some things at work that you have to face that might not be enjoyable. But generally speaking, you do have to have an interest. Otherwise, it just becomes routine and becomes tenuous, and you might quit your job if you don't find any sort of enjoyment in it. But so that's what I'm trying to say. Volunteer work, it has to be something that you enjoy, so that for you to stick to it. But there's going to be hurdles along the way, things that you don't really like, but you have to overcome them to achieve the bigger objective. And if our job scope is 100% aligned with what we like to do, then we're really lucky, because a lot of people, that's not the case for most people. Okay, this is a bit about this is my own little perspective or take on things, and I don't mean to put down anyone. It's just what I feel, and all of this is just my own humble opinion. So what this slide is about is I've kind of arranged like a little spectrum of things or fields of discipline in life that I feel are I have arranged according to the accessibility to the public. Now this is what I'm trying to say. So if you look at the spectrum, you see on the left, does it appear on the left? I hope it appears on the left to you all. If you look at the left, it says less accessible, and on the right it says more accessible. So what kind of disciplines are on the left? What can you see? A lot of, I think, hard sciences or core sciences, medicine, engineering, architecture, religion. In fact, I put a little further downstream than medicine, and I'll explain why in a bit. And on the right, there are more like these more, I guess, liberal disciplines, culinary arts, cooking, masak-masak, and graphic design, performing arts, film and music. A lot of that has to do, coincidentally, with the arts. What I'm trying to say is, I respect formal education a lot. I have high respect. Like I always, like I said, I've been playing guitar a long time, but I think experience is a great teacher. But it's still, to me, it doesn't beat having formal training. When by formal training I mean proper musical diploma or degree courses in universities, right? In institutions of higher learning. I think that would, if you have that sort of training, then it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. Some people are naturally talented, but it's not the case for most people. I think to be the best version of what you can be in your discipline, you do need to have that formal training. But on the other hand, there are disciplines of knowledge out there which you don't really need that informal training. Setakat nak mencuba-cuba, that means if you're just planning to dabble in it, right? You don't need such formal training. I mean, simple example: cars. You want to buy a car, you don't have to be like an automotive engineer to choose a car, right? All you need to do is a bit of knowledge and a bit of consulting and talking to people, right? You've basically dabbled in that field of knowledge. If you need to change a tire, if your car breaks down, you kind of know what to look at. That's the field of knowledge of automotive engineering. But you're not formally trained, but you do have a bit of knowledge, enough to get by. You see, so that's not. So I think, in my opinion, that's what it is with the arts. Okay, music. There's a lot of, and even the formally trained musicians will acknowledge that there are a lot of musicians who don't have formal training, and I don't feel that there's really any condescending sentiments in the musical community from the formally trained upon to the they don't really condescend upon the informally trained people. They get along very well, actually. So it goes to show that in stuff like music and the arts, you can still have a significant degree of involvement without informal training, and it's perfectly acceptable. You can't say the same for medicine. You cannot have an informally trained doctor, right? You cannot really have an informally trained doctor. You as lay people, of course, you can get some knowledge on common medicines, like paracetamol for fever or cough medicine. Of course, that's not the issue. But to actually get into the job and to treat people and all, you need formal training. Okay, you cannot simply it's not like with music. You can go into music to a significant degree without formal training, but in medicine you cannot do that. And if you look at why, there's you look at why medicine, engineering, architecture are on the less accessible end of the spectrum, is because there's lives involved. So the repercussions are disastrous if you are not formally trained in what you do. Religion, even I put religion actually downstream to medicine, because I think religion, people should have more involvement, a more significant degree of involvement in religion than the arts, of course, religious knowledge and all. But still, I think when it comes to what you call the repercussions of darurat nyawa, it's about handling human life and all. Religion is not quite there. I'm not saying that religion is not important, so don't misquote me or anything. But we're talking about the real world life, real world repercussions, and that's why you have the spectrum of vocations. So having said that, even though I have a great degree of respect for formally trained musicians, it doesn't negate all these informal constructs that people can take to educate themselves, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, what are you going to do with what you're capable of? If you're capable of the arts, if you're capable of music, right? What are you going to do with it? There's a lot of formally trained people who are formally trained in their disciplines, but they don't really do anything with it, in terms of voluntary work and, like I said, making the world a better place, and personal enrichment and moving civilization along. So I would rather take someone who is informally trained in their discipline, but can do something with it, can go out and do something with it, right? Than someone who is formally trained but doesn't do much with it. It just goes out, maybe just it's for their income and for the self-sustenance, which is, I'm not trying to put anybody down. Self-sustenance is a sustaining, looking for sustenance for you and your family. Menyara diri dan keluarga is a very noble thing to do. But if you're talking about going out of the ordinary, I would rather take someone who is informally trained but has that mindset, rather than someone who's formally trained but doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. Okay, this is what I mean. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so once you have identified what you like to do, where do you go with what you like? One of the first questions that you need to ask yourself is, if what you do does it intrinsically have value, or do you need to add value to it? Okay, and if you do, how would you go about it? Now this is better explained using an example. Plugging versus music. Does anybody I think some of you might know what plugging is. Plugging is, I think it was a trend that was started like maybe several years back. I think it was started somewhere in the Scandinavian countries. People started going on hikes or trails while picking up trash along, or jogging while picking up trash. So that's what plugging is. It's you jog, but then you clean up the environment. So it has intrinsic value, right? The plugging has intrinsic value. It benefits your health, and it also benefits the environment. So you don't really need to add something from the outside to it. It by itself, in and of itself, it has value. Music by itself, this is my belief, right? I think music is not the end goal to anything, but it is a very, very important tool to condition what you're trying to do. That's why music is so important in film. If we have time, I can show you a video later. And it mediates things, it tempers things. Dia macam music ni, dia macam mengadunkan kita punya aktiviti atau suasana atau benda yang kita nak buat. Okay, it's an accompaniment. But by itself, it doesn't have really that much value other than maybe to de-stress. Dia dengan sendiri dia tak ada nilai banyak sangat lah. Music ni, you can use it maybe to de-stress or for entertainment and all, but you cannot, like, if you put it up something like plugging. This plugging ni, it has more material benefits, that more tangible benefits, whereas music ni dia tak tangible lah. There's something that you listen to, okay, it can calm you down. Maybe it shapes your soul, it shapes your personality a bit here and there, but to a degree. But you, compared to other things have a lot more intrinsic value. Real, like this plugging and other acts of charity. All right. So I'm going to show you the example. This one example. Okay, video one. We go to video one, and this is a video of blogging that that GEMA, the blogging activity that GEMA organized. Blogging. Now I am going to show you. Sorry, can I go back to this? Yeah. So I'm going to now show you a video about a musical event that GEMA GEMA organized. Here's the video. Sorry. As you watch this video, I'd like for some of you to type in the chat box what you think of this event that we've organized, and if you would be, how daring would you be to organize something like this? So just think about it as you're watching the video, and type your comments in the chat box.
just to interject in between, I think many of us don't really appreciate live music tu kot.
Sorry, what was that?
It's very different kan?
Yeah.
Experiencing live music rather than listening to recorded music.
Correct. Oh, was that it? Okay. Dah habis dah?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
okay. I don't know what happened. Anyway, all right. So, okay, ada some chat. Okay, there's some comments in the chat, but some questions are basically. Okay, never mind.
We'll address it again.
Yeah. So, Nurul asked, can all of the participants see the chat box too?
Yeah. Yep,
They
everyone
can
can see the chat box.
So, okay,
Yep.
Nurul here said in these certain programs, they need to have specific aims, right? Okay, very good point. Because that's what I wanted to address. We'll go back to the slides. Okay, so, did I miss hold on. Okay, so the thing about organizing stuff like this is that you as a voluntary or social activist, you will always be of the mindset that whatever you do needs to have value. So kalau blogging tu, the blogging tu, it already has intrinsic value. You don't really need to add something or like an external message to it. It has a message already. It is intrinsic. It is inherent in the program. Tapi music ni, what do you want to use it for besides? Because like I said, music is a medium. So what we did with this program is we actually put out a theme. This was done in early 2018, which coincidentally was right before the general elections, 2018 general elections, and we put out the theme, the positive change among the youth. So every band that had to that participated had to play 2 songs, one of which had to be about positive change. I see. So maknanya we put value to it. You ask them to write a song and put out the positive change lyrics, and then we showed them that at the end of the program, we showed them that video Gemakan Suaramu, because which is about different youths of the country. We showed clips of them holding up spanduk pickets bukan speaker lah, but basically like signs saying like what they would like to see in the country change. From simple things like courtesy on the road, when you're driving, to bigger things like corruption, stuff like that. So all sorts of things, and this created like the whole nuance, the whole sentiment, the whole atmosphere of the program. And we actually got a comment from one of the judges. He commended our program. He said, apa yang buat korang punya program ni mahal is that dia ada message. Itu yang lain, right? So what he said was the difference between what made the difference between this program. One of the judges said that is that from other battles of the bands, battles of the bands, is that it had a message. It had a theme to it. You took something back from the competition, apart from just winning the prize money and just the entertainment and seeing bands play. It's all good fun and good music and a good time and talent on stage, but you at the same time you have to exert your own influences. You have to add your own nuances to it, that where people can take something away, something home, which is more than just what they see on stage, which is more than just leisure and entertainment. Okay, so that makes a difference. Okay, you have to infuse. We as voluntary, social activists, we need to infuse our own values into the program. Okay, so that's what I mean by adding extrinsic value to it. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to go a little faster because I still wanna play some guitar for you all, but I still have some stuff to talk about. So part 2 of where do you go with what you like is basically, all this, the point of voluntary work is to reach out to people, right? Atau menyantuni orang lah, would be the Malay. So most people, they actually take kindly to acts of volunteerism, acts of charity, but they just need to be shown the door, and they have to be reassured that what you're doing is legit. So this is the importance of what as well of going apa namanya, going official. In Malaysia, you have these bodies who regulate all the NGOs or societies. You have the ROS, Registrar of Societies. You have the Registrar of Youth. GEMA itself is what they call registered under ROI. So we are official, and that's a reassurance to people when we go out and do our programs. Getting back, okay, so. This is a program that I did with Iqram. Iqram is also officially registered with ROS, not ROI. People need to be shown the door to do acts of service. What Iqram did this time around during Ramadan, during the fasting month, what they did was Iqram. This is Iqram in Manjung, Perak. Okay, they prepared trolleys at supermarkets at the cashiers. Okay? They put trolleys there so that people, when they go and buy, grocery shopping, they can buy a bit extra and put their stuff put that extra stuff into the trolley. So what you see back there in the background is all the extra stuff that people have bought alongside the grocery that they bought for their usage. So the difference here is that when you make things easy, accessible to people, they will actually charitable character will come out. So I mean, people by themselves, they might not go to the supermarket just to buy stuff to give to the needy. But if they're, coincidentally, if they just happen to go shopping and if they see an opportunity to do good, then they will participate. So then we took that stuff and when we gave it to the needy, we passed that stuff to the needy. So you make these voluntary acts, right? If you want to reach out to people, you make them accessible. And if you put out good products, if you put out good products, then people will take them up. I don't want to get political or anything, but I'm just trying to show that Lim Kit Siang, who's a political figure in Malaysia, a veteran political figure, he picked up this article of mine. Hamri, my friend, wrote it, and I translated it, but he picked it up and put it on his blog, right? So if you're genuine and you put out ikhlas and you put out good product, people pick it up. And lo and behold, GEMA, we managed to get 5-star rating from ROI in 2019, which was last year. This is an award that you give out for excellence in administration, and both in administration and activism, I would say. And this is a national level award, and during last year, only 7 youth NGOs throughout the whole country, only 7 got this received this 5-star award. Okay, so this is the importance of going official. Okay, when you go official, you can tell people that we're legit. Yes, we're not. It's not a scam or anything. If you participate in what we do, or even if you just contribute from the outside, God willing, it will be put to good use. Okay, you see? All right. Okay, next. So who else does what you do? This is about when you come to. This is about finding like-minded people, and in the world of social causes. I think it's inevitable that you have to. It's inevitable for you to do it together with a team. Okay, I don't know of anyone in the civil society in the civil society CSO world who does things really on their own. Okay, even like Syed Azmi, and who is a bit of a well-known social figure here. He does a lot of good work, but the fact is he actually has a team behind him, right? Who and it's not that he wants to be at the fore, but they push him to the fore. So it's difficult for you to engage in anything if you want the the stamina, I guess, the stamina, and you want the durability, and you wanna be in the game for a long time. Eventually, you're gonna have to find an organization, right? And it's great if the organization is on the same page. I think if everyone is on the same page. So that when you need to work out your internal conflicts and internal stuff to make everyone on the same page. in Iqram, for example, there's mechanisms to foster that what do you call that togetherness and all, and it makes all the work that Iqram does a lot easier when you have this team, and instead of working in silos and all. So synchronizing your what do you call gerak kerja, your work, right? And sometimes the thing, and this actually kind of applied to me, creating your own niche in your organization. There's in some organizations you have to think about. Let's say you're in that organization because of you like the work that they do, right? The bulk of the work that the body work that they do, you like it, but if you, let's say for example, you want to try and apply your own hobbies and passions, you need to think about whether it's appropriate for you to do it in that organization, whether it's acceptable. I had a bit of difficulty, bringing music in some of the organizations that I was in, NGOs I was in. But eventually, I think all I did was I just kept at it, and I just did my own thing, and macam tak kisahlah. I didn't really care what people wanted to say. I just kept at it and did it, and I think I made friends with the right people who encouraged me and all, and eventually the organization came to accept it. So I didn't really have to go out of the confines of the organization to do it, but basically I created my own space within the organization. So you kind of have to see and decide for yourself whether if something that you like to do, that you think that it's sustainable and you can stick with it, you need to see whether your organization would allow for it. If you think it's not going to work out, you can just create your own niche and find like-minded people. Or I think it would be even better if you could just stretch the limits of your organization and condition people to accept what you're doing. I think which is what happened in my case. But in the end, ultimately, you are responsible for your own actions, what you want to do. You can't blame the organization if something fails or anything. You have to decide what you want to do for yourself. And then you need to think about as well if you need to provide training to your organizational peers. For example, when I led Music GEMA, it didn't come to fruition, but I was always thinking about doing some like guitar sessions with people. I'm informally trained, so the sessions that I would have wanted to conduct would have been informally trained as well. Just taking learning guitar to the people who are interested who have never tried, who have never learned playing guitar, or maybe are just still at an amateur or beginner stage. It will depend on whether your activity is a high skill activity, right? In music, yes, you do need quite a significant degree of skill to play. Even if you're informally trained, you still need that skill. But I find that in music, if people who haven't had, people will come to you if they have had some sort of prior experience to it. Okay, for things like plugging, for example, it's not really a high skill activity. You can easily participate in it anytime. Or hiking, in GEMA we have different passion clusters. We set up different passion clusters to cater to different needs, right? We have Music GEMA, then we have GEMA Green Heroes for environmental stuff. We have GEMA Horizons for backpacking. So you set up your own passion clusters, which also ties back to what I said just now about you creating your own niche in your organization, right? So you have to decide once you have that niche, whether you need to train the people or you can just go out and do it. That's another question that needs to be addressed. Okay, now another video that I want to show you is a video. This one is a video of me playing guitar, a bit high level stuff and intermediate to advanced stuff. But what I'm trying to say here is that depending on what you do, right? Sometimes there's going to be things that that looks like, oh, this is a waste of time. Or what's the benefit that you get from doing this? What do you get from posting videos of you playing guitar? Without any added message to it. Sometimes it's just like that. The nature of the discipline or the nature of the thing that you want to do is like that. You need to have a bit of showmanship to gain that trust, right? And this is one of the two ways actually how you reach out to people in a skill-based context. Number one is you can just do stuff which are random and which really don't have any external message, but which are appeasing to the people. You get your hits, right? This is what Ustad Hilman Rashad, I managed to visit him in Indonesia, who was part of a Nasheed group, Shautul Harakah. He told this to us. He said, you need to get your hits, you need to get your likes, you need to get your followers, right? Even if it's not like at the outset, it doesn't really have anything to do with what you want to ultimately convey to them. You need to get that. That's very important. Once you get that grasp, you have their attention, then you can start in talking about things, and taking them along the curve and bringing them to whatever you do want to bring them to. So you can so the what you do doesn't have to internally at the outset from the beginning terus ada message apa. Sometimes you can just do things which are which are impressive or appeasing, which is cool, so that people follow you. Okay, so this is my video. Okay, so among guitarists, it's kind of like a high level skill kind of thing lah. Okay, you need to have a certain degree of skill to be able to pull that off. So sometimes on my Facebook, I just post random stuff of me doing like technically difficult stuff to play, but I know that it's to it's just to gain to gain followers and to interact with people, to get their attention. So if you have a purpose, you have an ultimate purpose, nothing you do is a waste of time or effort. So some people are a bit judgmental about this, about benda yang buang masa lah, lara lah, apa macam tu. So you kind of need to change your mindset. It depends on what you're going into. Okay, now this is a little term that I came up with myself. I don't know whether it's accurate or tepat or not. Circumstantial judgment. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is, how do people know that what you do is going to be different from what other people did? Macam like I said, like just now, one of the judges there who said that our battle with bands was different because it had a theme. It was different. It brought value. There was added value to it compared to just other battles with bands where bands just come to compete and play for money, and then that's it. Audience comes to watch. They just get a good time. That's it. Nothing more than that. So how do you know? We approach. We in the course of organizing the program, we approach these different types of people. This is Akademi Seni Warisan. Aswara, Akademi Seni dan Warisan Kebangsaan. These are dance students, right? And this was another event that we organized. This girl was our violinist. I enjoyed very much playing with her, played harmonies with her live and all. And this guy right here, if you see at the bottom right box, that guy with the checkered shirt is Flop Poppy's guitarist. Okay, his name, nama dia Alpha Buti, Abang Alpha Buti. Flop Poppy's guitarist, if you happen to know who that band. So what makes the difference? The difference is when you build a good reputation. Okay, you need to build a reputation. You need to, if people look at you and they see your track record and they see that, you've been doing this and that and this and that and other charitable stuff and work acts of charity, then they can say, okay, well, this guy looks like he's gonna bring some added value to the program. It's not gonna be just another musical program where that has no external value to it. So you need to have a good track record. Well, this was me on bottom right is me on standby at an Iqram health program. On the bottom left, Dr. Mazli is in the picture, actually, our former education minister. That was a program on youth against terrorism, and I was a rapporteur or a writer. And then upper right is a program with Gerak GBM, Gabungan Bertindak Malaysia, people from other NGOs, and the upper left was me on TV promoting the program. Yeah. Okay, kenapa? Nanti nak pergi kenduri. Nanti kemudian. So your single greatest weapon in all this is good conduct. So you build your reputation, you put out you put out your stuff, you put out your products, you engage in charitable acts. Then when you come to do something which is off kilter, a bit different, people will look at your track record. So dia sama juga macam ni. Like in Islam, generally the general principle is you're not supposed to shake hands with a woman, right? But if you have two different people shaking hands with a woman, you see two people. One person is A, one person is B. Person A is a guy who who has good character and otherwise has good standing in religion. Who adheres to religion well and all, and Person B is someone bit of a playboy. I'm sorry, this is a very much maybe it's a bit judgmental example, but I'm just trying to get the point across. Is a guy who doesn't really have good manners and all. So what makes the difference between these two people? So the difference is orang A tu, person A tu is the one who shakes a woman's hand because to save, macam cakap to jaga air muka lah basically, because if a woman has stuck out her hand, you just in public, then you accept it just because otherwise if you it'll be embarrassing if you just it's sorry, I don't shake hands. It's kind of embarrassing. So you have that flexibility where you can shake hands with a woman, but versus to someone who freely shakes hands with the person B who freely shakes hands with other women, and he'll be it's like it's his normal habit to do that. So that the person A is doing it because to respect to respect that woman who has extended her hand to him. It's not a habitual thing for him. It's not a regular thing for him to do. So there's a difference there when people know your track record. Okay, that at the basic of that's just a very small example. Okay, this is a very small example. So the other thing that you need to do when you're when you're in volunteer work is you need to keep networking. Okay, you need to be daring and go out and keep networking. You see, this was one of the first one of the early musical programs that we organized in GEMA called Nasyid Underground. So what we did was we didn't have much prior experience to it, right? But all we did was just, I'm in GEMA and I like music and I want to do something with it. So let's just go out and do it. So we just mixed with the right people, mixed with the right crowd, and we just went at it. We just do the program and follow the proper steps as with any other program that you like to do. Take care of stuff and organize and consult and organize and what happens is it results in you expanding your network. Right? When you expand, when you keep organizing programs and you just dare to organize and be brave and be courageous, your doors will open. Atau orang Melayu maybe kata pintu rezeki akan buka. Okay, and lo and behold, this guy in the picture up there, the guy on the right is someone who follows GEMA programs, but the guy in the middle is A. Samad Said's grandson, and he's a musician. And he produces stuff. So when we organized this Nasyid Underground, I got to know him, and later on, I found this guy produced the song that I wrote, which came out on YouTube, which I'll talk about later. So you just have to keep doing your thing, and you have to network, and things will come your way. Okay. The last thing that I want to talk that you should do, it's not the last thing, but this is another very important thing that you should do is to go public with what you do. Right. I'm going to show you a video where, in promoting our program, I managed to again network with one of my ex-schoolmates, my ex-schoolmates who happened to work in RTM. So he was in my circle, my social circle, and he offered to promote my this program on TV1, and I just had a very short stint. This is the video, promotional video.
Pemuda Malaysia. Jom hadir ke pertandingan Spektrum Musical pada 24 Februari di Akademi Seni Budaya dan Warisan Kebangsaan. Jumpa dari sana. Raka.
Okay, so I just played like a very short lick. A lick is basically a short sequence of notes, right? So you want to try and go public with what you do. This is another example of going public. Okay, I like to write articles and I like to send them to news portals, and it's really not. These are like op-eds, basically op-ed columns. These portals, they take stuff from the public. You can email your articles to them, and they edit a bit, and then they'll put it up. So I think in the past maybe 5 years, I've had like more than 10 articles published online, and it's just something that you just have to. If you have an interest, you find the portal to go public with it. You find the medium. So you see that those two articles up there, those are about the Christchurch shootings. I actually translated. Iqram put out a statement on it, and I translated it. So that was my translation. I sent it to Malay Mail. At the same time, I wrote another kenyataan media or another statement on behalf of GEMA, and it was in Malay. But I also sent it to Malay Mail online. And this was a personal article. Berjalan-Jalan Malaysia Baru was a personal article of mine that I wrote after the PRU, the general elections in 2018. So you need to you should just go and try. It doesn't hurt to try and put your stuff out online. This was another bit of a, I guess, a controversial article that I sent to Rocket Kini, which is one of the political parties. What do you call news portals? So it's just something that I was just brainstorming and thinking about basically affirmative action policies in Malaysia, and I just had some ideas, and I just want to put them out there, even though if they're not immediately implementable or anything, they're not realistic. But sometimes you just want to just try and introduce the idea to the public. So this also went on the news portal. And this is another example of plugging. I think I'll show the video. This was a plugging video. Oh, I think this video I'm sorry, I think we made a mistake. We didn't upload this video. But basically, our plugging activities went on TV Al Hijrah. Okay, so on Merdeka Day, in 2018, GEMA organized a plugging activity, and it happened. TV Al Hijrah picked it up, and our people appeared on TV Al Hijrah on TV. So you need to be daring, okay? And this is Pedants. Pedants is basically a group of. This was a personal initiative, nothing official and Iqram, but I gathered like these people, young people, girls and guys alike, who have an interest in English. Right? It's just an English interest group. And we managed to put out, one of our projects is a hadith a day. This is a Telegram channel. This is, as of last night, it had 12,000 subscribers, close to 13,000 subscribers. So what it does is put out hadiths in English. And actually, we just translate. There's another channel by Iqram Johor called Satu Hari Satu Hadis. All we do is translate material from there and put it on our Telegram channel, so it becomes an English medium for hadith. For hadiths are prophetic narrations, for those of you who don't happen to know prophetic narration. So this is the, like I said, this is all about. It all stems from my passion and my interest. Whatever I'm showing you here is what I'm interested in, right? So I took my interest in English and linguistics and writing, and I made something with it. Right? And I gathered people, right? All the steps that I showed you, I gathered people and I put out a product. We put out a product. Okay. So finally it's time to Akmal. Akmal, are you around?
Yep.
Oh,
still here.
So this is the final part of my talk. How much time do we have?
Technically we have 3 hours lah, but
okay.
You can go ahead. That's fine.
I think this slot is I'll be playing a bit of guitar for you all. So the story is in 2018, prior to the elections, I was approached by some people who look, this is and I know that this part is gonna involve some stuff of political nature, but I want y'all to put the political angle aside and just focus on the music, because what I want to showcase here is not political views or anything, nothing political, but how I came up, how I and my colleagues came up with the ideas, the art for this song. So some people from Pakatan Harapan, they came and they wanted a song for the youth. They happened to know that I play guitar, so I think that around that time there weren't many songs for the youth from any party actually. So these people approached me, and I said, yeah, sure. I'll just come up with some ideas, and I'll try and show them to you. And eventually, it went into the studio, and it got published, and they made a music video for it, and it's on YouTube. And I'm going to show it to you in a bit. And like I said, the producer was that grandson to A. Samad Said. A. Samad Said's grandson was the one who produced the music. So I'm just going to sit back a bit here, turn on my guitar amplifier. This is my guitar that I've had for I think since 2006, 14 years. So
you've got a fan back there.
Is it something going on in the chat box? Wait, fan? Oh, you mean my daughter?
Yeah.
That's one of my groupies. She's one of my groupies. Okay. Anyway, So basically, what this song was about is I wanted to. Well, it was going to be a song for the youth. So of course, the style of music and all had to be, something that the youth could listen to. So what I tried to do is, like I said, I'm a heavy metal, extreme metal kind of guy. But when you grow older, you become more realistic, and you realize that if you want to reach out, you want to reach out to people, you have to start playing things or doing things that they can relate to. Which is also why I started out writing articles in English. Then I switched to Malay, because I felt that the social critique would go further and gain more traction. So for this song, what I tried to do is I tried to. Wait, can you? Boleh dengar?
Boleh dengar, clear.
Okay, so I tried to write songs of. I think, generally speaking, pop punk is very well accepted amongst the youth. Pop punk is this stuff like kalau overseas, Blink-182, or maybe even Green Day. More local, it's like bang face macam tu lah. So what I tried to do was write a song generally pop punk in nature, but I wanted to infuse my personal influences in it. So there's stuff in it like from a band that I really love listening to is Lamb of God. It's an American band. A bit of a controversial name, but they put up great music, and one of the bands that I grew on to build my skills and all. Huh?
Is Lamb of God a Christian band?
No, but it's no, it's not a Christian band. But I think they took that name because they come from Virginia, which is kind of like a Bible thumping territory. It's like Bible thumpers country lah, dekat Virginia too. So I think they just took the name. Anyway, so there's influences that I also wanted to. When I was thinking about the song in my head, and what do I want to put in the song? And I was brainstorming. I wanted to put like a rap section as well. So I had to do the rap section because I couldn't find a rapper, a decent enough rapper in time. Not that I'm decent at all, but I'm just saying that I had, in the end, I eventually had to pull out the rap parts. You'll see in the video. And I also wanted to put in, like, I was imagining like one like sing along section, with like kids voices and all. So the song started off. I think the first idea that popped up in my head was the central melody. So the central melody was I just thought of that. So that's what I started off with, and I just built the chords and the writing around that. So this is what So this is basically the initial melody idea. So that was the initial melody. So then I built the other riffs around it. So a lot of the song starts off soft and mellow with what they call like a clean guitar part, which goes like something like. So you can hear that later. Just take note. I'm just telling you the parts of the song. Then you can just take note and you'll go like, oh, okay, this is what he was talking about. And then there's some like outright punk stuff like. Okay, there's punk stuff like that, and I tried to. Those are called power chords. They're very basic rock chords. But I tried to ornate them and dress them up by adding extensions to them like this. Instead of just playing like this, you can go. What I did was the second time around, I went like this. So you can hear the difference in color, right? So this versus and this versus and this versus. See, so. Those are just like the plain power chords, and when you add extensions or add notes to them, they sound more flowery and expansive. And in between, I added like little notes, to just to make it things more interesting. Right, so that's how you write music. You just lay out the basic backbone, then you add stuff to it. Then okay, for the Lamb of God part, it's a very kind of like a dissonant kind of sound, but this is what Lamb of God likes to do. There's one part that goes like this. You can listen to it. You can hear it later, and that's in the middle of the song. But then I repeat it on later on at the outro of the song. So it has a nice effect where you've listened it once, when you hear it once in the middle of the song, then you hear it again at the end of the song. It's like, oh, okay, this is that riff that I heard earlier. So it kind of like they act like kind of like pillars to the song. You know, when these pillars they stick the song in place and they keep the song grounded. So Lamb of God uses this technique a lot, but in more like even more dissonant context like this. One of the songs goes like this. This one was more melodic because I wrote it in what you call to appropriate. I made it appropriate for the song. So it's still relatively melodic. Then there's this rap part where, like I said, the rap part, but the underlying music for that rap part is kind of like a kind of Latinish kind of thing, where I think I use clean guitars on that. So it's like okay. So I play like. The vibe is like a bit of a bossa nova vibe. I think you can listen to it, or maybe reggae vibe. So the difference you see before that, it was all pop punk and all, but then you go to that part where, so this is not pop punk, right? So different flavors to the song, and then in fact during that one section, I'm playing that underneath, and then I'm rapping over it, and there's in fact there's one lyrical line there that goes, "Takkan nak tunggu Arab Spring," just to talking about the political climate and the economic situation, where things are going downwards, and takkan you want to wait for another Arab Spring here. So during that part, I actually played during that lyrical line, just for that brief moment, I added this riff. You see, so what I tried to do was correlate the music with that lyrical line. So this sounds Arabic, so I'm going like. So that's like a Arabic kind of feel. Let's go say it. So it sounds Arabic. So that's how I tried to correlate the music with the lyrics in some parts. And then after that, there was a solo, pop punk style solo, and there was a sing along part. And one of my friends really enjoyed this part where it just goes oh, 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 oh. So it's basically this, but people sing it. Okay, then like you can hear like clapping. We added some clapping effects to it. Okay, that was a sing along part that I envisioned in my head. Then it goes back to the chorus. Then that Lamb of Godish part at the end. So that's how the song flowed. I really enjoyed the song. Personally, I think it's I've written like maybe a few or several songs, but that's definitely my favorite work to date. So enjoy the video, and and you're watching, as you're watching the video, try to think back to what I tried to point out to you all.
interested to listen to Dr. Dan rapping.
Engkau dan aku, kita semua berbeza. Keegoan membuat.
So most of the people in the video or actually played the parts, sang the parts are all Iqram colleagues. I had some people from GEMA as well. I had the drummer guy was from GEMA, but the singer, the male singer, and both the female and male singer, both the male and female singers were from Iqram.
Just catchy melody.
Yeah, I try to make it youth friendly lah, youth friendly tune.
Kini masa kita bersama. Ayuh, tukar harapan untuk semua. Tahun bertukar ganti, kita tetap begini. Sesak lemas terhimpit di asai ekonomi.
Kini tiba masanya kita bangkit bersama. Suara kita berkuasa, berguru menggegar takhta. Bersatu marah ke hadapan, bertindak demi negara. Tegakkanlah keadilan, menggalas amanah bangsa. Bersatu marah ke hadapan, bertindak demi negara. Tegakkanlah keadilan, menggalas amanah bangsa. Harapan untuk semua. Bukannya tak bersyukur, bukan kerana benci. Kerana engkau dan aku, kita bangsa Malaysia. Ayo bijak memilih, kita mahu berubah. Kita rakyat yang cakna, aku dan kamu.
That's it. That's that part.
Yo, check it. Dengar sini abang nak tahu kita semua orang muda. Kau tahu negara
Listen to
kita
music.
sedang merana. Yang kaya tambah kaya, yang miskin tetap apa. Pernah jadi tak kena tunggu spring. Rasuah merata
that's
well you
one
know
part.
cash is king. Asyik nak komplain tapi tak nak buat something. Hari-hari fast sampai bila nak tahan sabar. Apa lagi geng, jom tukarlah tukar.
Harapan untuk semua. Harapan untuk semua. Harapan untuk semua. Bersatu marah ke hadapan, bertindak demi negara. Tegakkanlah keadilan, menggalas amanah bangsa. Bersatu marah ke hadapan, bertindak demi negara. Tegakkanlah keadilan, menggalas amanah bangsa. Harapan untuk semua.
Okay, so yeah, so that was the video. The songwriting was my idea, but the lyrics I got some people to write the lyrics together, and the flow of the video, the what do you call it, the storyboard, I guess, was drafted by Amira Azlan. She's in the chat room actually. Come up with a new one. Okay. All right. Anyway, so that's the end of the talk, and these are some take-home messages. Just to summarize everything up nicely. Number one is to be yourself, right? You can't force what you like. Okay? You may stumble upon something new, and it may turn out to be something that you end up really liking and a passion. But generally speaking, it's not something that this is voluntary work, So you can't go wrong. So you just follow think about what you like to do and follow what you like to do, and find a medium for it. So you need to be brave and outgoing. Okay, just be daring. No one's you can't commit any wrongdoings or crime, in the world of civil society organizations, right? You experiment and you try and find out what you like, and you talk to people, and you expand your horizons, and you develop. I mean, I myself personally, I can, from since when I joined Iqram in 2013 until now, it's like almost palpable, the my growth in thought and my growth in thinking, and how I see the world, the worldview, the worldview. So you need to have a nice expansive worldview, and you need to have your branding, your persona, and your character, right? So this is basically about your reputation and all that. You need to decide on you have to think about when you're doing this and that, what kind of values you want to bring to other people and you want to bring to the table. So it also helps you to attune yourself to the work that you're trying to do. Okay, and you have to keep in mind that anyone can just go through life and not do anything extraordinary, not help others. But you know why there's so many videos and so many like TED Talks and content, social media content on doing solving the world's problems and improving yourself, and helping others, because these are actual problems. These are actual problems. People, the fact is that most people go through their lives without doing anything extraordinary, but there are there are lots of people out there as well also who think about all this and think about helping the underprivileged and think about the world, making the world a better place. So you have to decide for yourself whether what you want to do in this world, and whether you just want to go follow along in the rat race, or you want to go on and do something. And like I said, again, for religious people, this will all echo in your afterlife as well. This is all going to benefit. It'll benefit both people, you in this life, benefit others in this life, and also benefit you later. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm sorry for any deficiencies. Anything that I missed out. If there are any gaps, any jumpy thoughts or anything. I think we'll go to the Q&A right now and wrap up.
Okay, all right. So because there's a few questions there, I'm trying to bundle up the questions into common themes.
Okay. All right.
So we'll start off with the first question. I'll just stop the slide presentation if that's okay with you, or shall we just play on the screen?
What? Sorry, play what?
I mean the slide presentation.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
Do you want to leave it there, or just I can?
Or
What do you prefer?
Just leave it there lah. Leave it there. Or
Okay.
no, I think just go back to me, I guess. Maksudnya end the presentation lah. End the
Yep.
presentation or what? I'll just stop it so that people can see my face.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, okay. All right. So thanks, Dr. Dan. I think you've shared with us. I think we're grateful with you sharing your creative process of developing the song. I think the song was very impactful. I remember the first time I saw it, I was amazed because very energetic, and it was laden with a message, and eventually I think it sort of contributed towards the social change in Malaysia. Well, we're still there. We're still getting there with the whatever happened.
You can't control the future, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, we won't talk about it. But we'll focus on a different tangent, a different topic for this session. So I guess I think Nurul. I'll try and rephrase it into a common theme. Um, she's asking like how do you actually settle on um, your talent? I guess how do you I guess it's a process in itself because most people don't really understand that arts and also this creative endeavor is more or less related to your self-expression. And some people express themselves through sport, some of them through
Right.
arts. I guess what are the pointers that you can give to Nurul?
Okay. I think, okay, like I said, you have to. I think someone asked me prior to this talk whether how do you find your talents and passions. It's not like, well, for most people, I think it comes naturally. Like I said, everyone has a hobby, is what they find enjoyable. But it also takes the final determining factor is you. Okay, if you, let's say if you're a religious person, maybe you take the push off is from your religious scripture, and maybe your if you find inspiration from religion, faith-based activity, as you like to say, is the motivating factor is there to go out and do good, make the world a better place. In Islam, that's the case. It's pretty clear cut. But if you're not a religious person, then it's up to you. What do even if you're Muslim, lots of Muslims don't do anything out of the ordinary either. I mean, it's scripture, but so the determining factor is you. What you have to sit down and think about what impact you want to bring to the world, bring to society. So how you want to enrich yourself. So if you have that pushing factor in you, then what the next thing you need to do is go out and explore and talk to people and participate in activities until you stumble upon something. But sometimes also seemingly boring or seemingly ordinary things, seemingly plain things, you can turn into what do you call? You can turn into charitable acts as well, or voluntary service acts. For example, if you like to watch movies, I know a friend who previously set up like a movie club, and what she did was she made like her own little social circus, discussion circle, and where she dissected the movies and talked about the lessons that you can extract from them. And I personally also know someone who, because he liked watching TVs and watching shows, he eventually went on to do film in Aswara, the Academy Seni Warisan dan Bahasaan, which is actually like basically it's the pinnacle of what do you call art studies in Malaysia. Okay, and I think almost everything that you do can be turned into a hobby or passion. Video games, people now label them esports. We have lots of now we have social activists who are taking esports and turning them into what do you call into programs. And that these, like I said, this is what I said, the circumstantial judgment. When you see that the social activists that you who are your peers, right, go and take esports, which initially might not look like it has any added external value, but because they are social activists, then you trust them. You know that they do something with esports. You see, so that's what I mean. So you to find your hobby, you need to. Most people already have hobbies, but you need to find your pushing factor, and you need to go out and mix around and read and talk to people. You need to expand your horizons. That's why traveling is good for you, because it expands your worldview and thought process. Okay, I can't hear you.
Sorry. Okay, I just muted myself. So I think you've touched on the issue of not the issue. I mean, you've touched on like ways on like traversing the journey of finding what do you like to do, like what's best for you. In a way, like searching for a tribe. So searching for a tribe is just about meeting someone and sharing the same interests and just do it. I usually get questions also lah. Macam some people just ask me, I don't know what is my talent. And every time I get this question like, how do I decide on what exactly is my talent? So that's always a really difficult question to answer, because you yourself need to sort of, go through that journey and, find people like Dr. Dan said, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. The second question is more about like fake, I think. I think Kak Alia is asking, how do you deal with criticisms about traditional Islamic views on music? For
Okay.
example, it's haram, like, suara perempuan, aurat, etc.
Okay, well, for I don't know how many non-Muslims there are in the audience, but there's a bit of an issue in music. Is like there's this. It has been frowned, traditionally speaking, in the world of Islamic jurisprudence. It has been frowned upon. I would say. I think that's how to put it. To put it nicely. So. But the thing is, music is a very powerful tool. Personally speaking, you cannot, music is everywhere, all around us. It's just music is basically the arrangement of frequencies, right? Sound frequencies around us, and it's something which is very natural. And even babies know when they hear a melodious tune. So it's something very close to. I think it's very something close to the soul. You can't deny it. You can't put it away. So when you talk about, but when you put it, you're talking in the context of Islamic jurisprudence. I think when she's asking like, what's the question, or stuff like, there's a lot of when you're talking about engaging, interacting with society. There's a lot you need to open your mind to different opinions which are more lenient, and it also really helps. Like I said, this is all about expanding your horizons. You need to mix with people. There's I don't know, I can't count the number of times where like I previously was rigid in something, and then later on in life I went down the road. I said, oh, okay, apparently there's this other opinion which says no, you can actually it's actually allowed, but maybe there's some certain what do you call compounding conditions or something like that. But it wasn't as strict that it turned out to be. So we cannot, with social activism, you're not trying to, you're not trying to legitimize anything which is impermissible. Okay, you cannot, like, there is no way to, if your hobby is drinking, there's no way for you to like add extrinsic value to such a program. Okay, but it's not that. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to work with things which are still in the sphere of permissibility. Okay, but you just wanna there's certain aspects that you have to pay to so that it doesn't cross the line. Music itself, I think, was frowned upon because it was associated with other things. You can't blame the music itself. Music itself is not dia tak berdosa. The music itself is not the problem. Okay, it's not the music's fault. It's just that if you because it was associated with fornication and the practices like that, and drinking and all. So that's when it goes wrong. But even then, it's not the music that's wrong. It's still the music may like condition or encourage accompany the act, but it's not the music itself. So when you're talking about like stuff like aurat perempuan apa semua, that's when I said you have to open up your mind a bit, and women's voices aurat tu is actually it's only if it's what you call, dia kata apa, the Malay is mendayu, or if it's like seductive like that lah. Okay, which by general standards, by universal standards, but it's not benda tu, it's not like something which is modest for women anyway, right? It's not modest for women anyway to be all seductive and all temptress and all. It's not modest anyway. So if you don't make your voice out to be like that, then it's okay lah. In fact, I know that the ex-health minister, Dr. Zulkifli, his family sings, even the wife. It's just that he says that I heard that the condition that he puts is that the wife can't sing alone. That's his condition. To me, I don't really have a problem with women singing alone, but as long as if it's like I said, if you stay with, you don't turn it to be like something which is enticing and all. A good voice is a good voice, and period. A good voice is a good voice. So it's all about, like I said, again, it comes back to reading more and interacting more and expanding your worldview.
Agreed. So the other question is also from Kaalia. So she's interested in knowing how did you get people to participate in organizing Spectra Musica. It looks massive, also very inclusive because you can see like families like attending the event, as well as how did you manage to get like other people to attend the event itself. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, okay. Now, Spectrum Musica was a proud moment for us because we managed to do it, and it was a personal ambition of mine, being someone who plays music, to engage with Academy Seni dan Warisan Kebangsaan, which, like I said, is the pinnacle of arts education in Malaysia. Okay, when people talk about music education, Aswara is number one. Okay, so we managed to. It was like, okay lah. So I didn't get to sign Aswara. At least I get to program with them. So the thing about it is, yes, the program was pretty big. We had 16 bands play, and it was a whole day, morning till night time. But tell you the truth, there were only like maybe 3 or 4 people really at work. It was me and Amira and Iza was our treasurer. So I was basically, I think Amira did a lot of the technical planning or floor managing and all. But Iza was the one who took care of the finances, funding, and monies. And I think I gave the general direction of the program because I was the only one who was familiar with music in the first place. So I kind of had an idea what to do or who to talk to and all. So I did a lot of contacting the people that needed to be contacted. So the thing is that the lesson here is that you don't need that many people to pull off a project. What you need is the dedication and the no, it's not dedication, it's passion first. This is what my friend, one of my mentors actually told me. 3 things: passion, opportunities, and talent.
Abi,
Yes.
Amin boleh masuk ke?
Not yet. Later. Passion, talent, opportunities, and talent. Okay. What people like you end up doing is they end up arranging talent first. So that's when they don't have they can't sustain and they can't commit. They don't have that durability in their discipline. So you got to go with your passion first, not with your talent first. Talent is something which is inborn, what you're good at. If it happens to be your passion, then well and fine. But the determining factor is a passion. So passion and opportunities and talent. So when you have the passion and you have the dedication and you are morally motivated, you know what you're doing. You want to leave your mark on this world. You want to reach out to people. So you can. The drive is there, and you can make things happen. So my little clique of people ran the program, but we made the right interactions. We engaged with the right people. We went to the meetings in Aswara. We talked to the people from the faculty. Okay, so and in the end, it happened. You just have to delegate your work nicely, and you need to be brave and be daring and establish your networks. Like I said, I managed to get the judge from Flop Poppy, which is a famous pop band here in Malaysia. Okay, and then the other thing is the currency of voluntary work is reproducibility. That's your currency. When you're able to make people participate and copy your mindset, your thinking, your work, that's your measure of success. So your currency is reproducibility. So it's about, again, it's all all I'm saying, whatever I'm telling you, I mean, these answers are all in the take-home message. Okay, your passion and your bravery and your daringness to go out and do stuff and making the right connections to people.
Okay. Yeah, I can relate to Dr. Dan. I think my best friend also went to Aswara. I went to Australia. So rhymes but different thing. Beza. Okay, the next question from Amira. Why personally do you think music is important in youth work or volunteer work?
I think Look, music itself is a thing which really you cannot force. It really has to be something which you're passionate about. Okay. The reason why I personally believe that you need to have music can be important. Like I said, it's a tool. It's not the end goal. Yeah? We need to be. You got to be clear about this, lah. This is not. I am not. I have never held the belief that music is an end goal. In fact, when I was like more rigid back then, cynical, I just said outright, music is not going to make the world a better place. But then I grew wiser and stopped saying stuff like that. But so what I'm trying to say is, music is a very important tool. It is not the end means. It's not the end goal, but it's a very important means. So as you know, to put it like very crassly or in a very simple analogy, you can reach a lot of people with a great orator. Okay, someone who knows how to speak well. And what do you call? Public speaking. Public speaking. You can speak well and grab the audience's attention. But you can reach even more people in a different audience with music, right? How many people? How many people listen to the radio? How many people watch YouTube? So I personally, let's say, I managed to get such a number of people through that music video on YouTube. Me and my team and I wouldn't have reached as many people by just talking and conveying what I wanted to convey. Definitely for me. So music is very close to the soul. Another example that was related to us by our some colleagues in Indonesia was that the Wali Songo, or the 9 supposed walis in the land of Indonesia. They brought Islam to that region through arts, through culture, through music. Okay, so it was easier to shape the thinking of the people and bring them closer to what they wanted people to bring through this music. Because you create good times, and you create this affinity and interaction, and you create people's trust in you. But on the other, like I said, all this is very important. It works if you have on the other side of the fence, or behind the curtain, right? On the flip side, that you need to have a good reputation. You have if you've shown that you do all this kind of charitable work and good work outside of all this leisurely stuff, and good times, good fun stuff, then people will see, and they will buy in.
Yep. All right. So I think kita ada 9 minutes left. So
Okay.
I'll probably ask you one last question lah.
Okay.
I guess creativity in itself is a 21st century skills, and most people these days, they produce original content either through YouTube, like musical composition, op-eds, paintings, and many more. And I feel that there's always a responsibility as either a creative individual or an artist to send a message. So communicate a message to the people, and the message, as you mentioned itself, is the medium. Like the art itself is the medium of communicating the message. So there's many sort of messages out there, but there's always like underlying values. How does one actually connect with that values, and like what sort of values that you should be promoting, or that you can connect to through your arts or your creativity for social change, for example?
Okay, look, a very good example, I think, is Faisal Tahir. Okay, he's a fairly decent role model that has tons of followers, and he has always been involved. He has been involved in humanitarian work. I know that the platform that he uses is I Am For You. That also happens to be someone I know that has I Am For You. She created this platform, and she started out pulling artists into the group. So that's why Faisal Tahir goes when he goes on a humanitarian stuff, he uses it's via that platform, I Am For You. So the message, if you're asking what sort of messages you should put through, like I said, I think the message can be anything, any social cause that you want. It's kind of difficult to dictate what kind of message you want to put out with something which acts as with something that acts as a medium. So you can use, music is like such a powerful tool. If anyone watched Fast and Furious 7, I think. No, was it 5 or 7? I don't remember, but it was the one where Paul Walker died, and they had to at the end, the final scene was him and Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto driving off, and eventually him taking a different direction. That was to signify that he had gone on to a better place. Okay, in the movie, that the song that was playing during that scene was that one. It's been a long while. Da 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 da. And I'll see you again. Oh, I don't remember. It's that Fast and Furious. That song. I forget the name. If anyone knows the name of that song from Fast and Furious, you can put it there. But it was a very. I think when I watched it, also, it was very poignant and emotional. I think. So I wouldn't I wouldn't try to dictate the music with the message. Okay, it's the other way around. You decide what message you want to put out. Yeah, Wiz Khalifa there. Nurul has. What's the name of the song? If you don't mind, if you can just paste the YouTube link in the chat box. It'd be great as well. I don't remember the name of the song. So you cannot dictate. I don't think it's like dictating the music with the message. Okay, you decide on what you want to do. Then the music doesn't dictate the message. Yeah. The message dictates the music. You decide what you want to do, and then you decide what you want to say, right? And then you put out the music. Like I said, like the Pakatan Harapan song, they wanted a voice. They started out with what they wanted to do. The what they wanted to do was reach out to the youth. So okay, you're talking about youth. Then I had to compose stuff which was the youth could listen to. So yeah. See you again, Wiz Khalifa. See you again. That's right. So I had to compose the music in accordance to what I wanted to say. So it doesn't matter. Faisal Tahir songs are about humanitarian stuff and being good to each other. That song Assalamualaikum, you feel good about it, and you make the music video to accompany. It creates that whole when your audience receives it, it's about everything. It's about the visual, it's about the audio, right? And that is what leaves the mark on the person's mind.
Oh.
One more thing I want to say. This is why for like people in the Islamic workers, right? People in Iqram and all, you need to start opening up to stuff like this. You need to start opening up because, like I said, traditionally I understand that music was frowned upon and it wasn't very something that people who took kindly to, and people maybe didn't know what to do with it, or they just didn't like it, or thought that this is stuff which is not beneficial and all. This is 21st century. You need to open up. People are the world is getting smaller and smaller. People are connecting with each other more. You need to grab people's attention. You need your hits. You need your likes. You need your followers. Okay, and it's nothing like immoral or anything. You need to stop looking at music as something which is immoral. Okay, it's not the music's fault. It's what you decide to do with it. So, I personally would like to see more Islamic faith-based activists go out and send their kids to learn music, and so that they, if we haven't had the opportunity, make sure your kids, the next generation of Islamic workers, has music education, and arts education, and you won't know the potential that it has until you are capable of doing it. Then you will see.
Yeah, thank you for that very insightful process of how do you develop. Is it the other way around? Is it like the message comes first, or is it the music comes first? So I think it's very important to highlight the process itself is an ongoing sort of journey within itself lah. So I guess we're at the end of our session today. I really liked what Dr. Dan mentioned about the currency of voluntary work is reproducibility, and it's all about going public as well. So trying to network with different kinds of people, as well as trying to communicate your message to the public about social causes. And at the end of the day, activism or creativity, it's all about translating between awareness into action. So how do you actually bridge that gap? Any concluding remarks, Dr. Dan, or anything that you want to plug in, like books or YouTube videos, music that you want like the audience to listen to or explore?
I think, well, if you want to read the stuff that I've written, you can just like type Daniel Iqram, DANIELIQRAM, if you can see that. And like Malaysia Kini after that, or Free Malaysia Today, or Malay Mail. I think my name should come up somewhat in your search results. That's just the my thought process. That's my articles. Other than that, I think and you can follow me on Facebook, I guess, Daniel Iqram as well. It's a profile picture of me playing a guitar. And again, I think voluntaries. You have to keep in mind that voluntary work, or maybe for Islamic workers, is da'wah, is about touching people. It's about touching the hearts of people, right? So you need to. It's about creating good emotions and all. Voluntary work is great and all, but it's also like dry and a bit lifeless if you don't manage to touch other people. That's why I said this seni or music and arts, it's something that we need to get into. You need to try and start exploring and getting into music, and so that you create, and that's the highest value in voluntary work actually. When you manage to touch people, touch people's hearts, and you manage to reach out to them in that fashion. Rather than this, it's not just about doing good works. That's great for you, and it makes the world turn. But it has even more value and satisfaction when you know you have that person can trust you and you have touched them, and you can do that through. What I'm trying to say is arts and music facilitates that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dan. I think we're very blessed, and we are honored to have you here today. So maybe we'll meet up next time. Yes?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to my mother and auntie, I think, who are coincidentally following this talk. I think my mom is Maz in the chat
Yes.
box. SF Lu is my auntie. She's my mom is Chinese. I'm half Chinese actually. So
okay.
yeah. So that's
Hello, auntie.
that's my mom and aunt. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. We'll probably meet up next time. I think this is the end of the series of our creative leadership series. So hopefully there's going to be next time, and we'll probably have more people, I guess, presenting, and maybe Dr. Dan again, or Dr. Dan can attend my podcast, which has been on a hiatus for a bit.
Okay.
Okay, and maybe we'll get to hear a new song because PRU is coming. The general election is coming soon.
Another general election. Oh man. Start from square one again. Okay.
Okay. All the best, Dr. Dan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Jazakallah.
Thank you.